Hello friends, good evening all of you. Today we are going to discuss the literary term existentialism. Existentialism means the theory that human beings are free and responsible for their own actions in a world without meaning. Now, we must take into consideration the use of existentialism in literature particularly. Existentialism has been a philosophical trend in the 20th century. The term and the philosophy attached to it originated from the works of the Danish philosopher Kierkegaard. It also finds expression in the works of Heidegger and Sartre. Existentialism throws the view that the universe is a meaningless and dangerous place for an individual to exist. In this universe, the individual has the freedom to choose, but the choice lands him in difficulties. Sartre, in his book Existentialism and Humanism, made this philosophy familiar to the writers in Europe. In his book, Sartre observed that existence precedes essence. That is, he stressed the priority of existence over essence. He meant that the existent person who exists possesses the ability and responsibility to create his own world. In such a creation, Sartre argues, angst means anxiety and death are central. The philosophy about man's insignificance and his absurd and irrational existence became the subject for plays called the absurd plays or the theatre of the absurd. Dramatists like Samuel Beckett projected in their plays the irrationalism, helpless and absurdity of life in drama, rejecting the conventional realistic settings, logical reasoning, coherency of plot, etc. Friends, the explanation of the term existentialism ends here. Now, I would like to explain one more term which is entitled as hamartia or tragic flaw. Aristotle uses the word hamartia to mean tragic flaw while defining the tragic hero. He says that a tragic hero suffers from an inherent flaw of which he is either conscious or unconscious. Hamartia is really an error judgment made by a hero as a result of ignorance or weakness, which finally contributes to his downfall. This flaw is not a vice or an element of depravity. Examples of such tragic flaws drawing a heroic character to his downfall are well-known Shakespearean heroes. Hamlet's habit of contemplation leads to delay. Macbeth's vaulting ambition and Othello's excessive love for his wife Desdemona leads to his suspicion of her character, and so on. Shakespeare's King Lear presents a romantic extreme of the Sophoclean Aristotelian tragic hero. Blinded by hubris means pride to bring ruin upon others as well as himself. The Greeks thought that pride is the basic human weakness. Friends, now I would like to give you some examples to make it more clear the term hamartia or tragic flaw. This example is from the play which is written by Sophocles, which is entitled as Oedipus. Oedipus, a famous Greek tragedy, is a perfect example of hamartia, in which the primary character's downfall is caused by unintentional wrong doings. His pride leads him to defy the prophecy of gods, but he ends up doing what he feared the most. In the story, the oracle of Delphi told Oedipus that he would kill his father and marry his mother. To avoid this, he leaves the city of Corinth and heads towards Thebes. Friends, Corinth is the name of the city which is left by Oedipus, and he went to another city which is named as Thebes. On his way, he killed an old man in a feud. Later, he married the queen of Thebes when he was made king of the city. After he saved the city from a deadly sphinx, he committed all these sins in complete ignorance. But he deserved punishment because of his attempting to rebel against his fate. his reversal of fortune is caused by his actions, which are, in a sense, blasphemies. Another example I would like to give you, it is from a very famous play written by William Shakespeare, which is entitled as Hamlet. Prince Hamlet's tragic flaw in Shakespeare's play Hamlet determines his tragic downfall. Hamlet's hamartia is his indecisiveness. He cannot make up his mind about the dilemmas he confronts. He reveals his state of mind. He reveals his state of mind in the following lines from act number 3, scene number 1 of the play. Now I would like to quote these lines. So, to be or not to be, that is the question, whether this is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them to die, to sleep. Hamlet wants to kill his father's murderer, Claudius, but instead ruins his life by delaying action, as he looks for proof to justify the act. In the process, he spoils his relationship with his mother and sends Ophelia into such a state of depression that she commits suicide. This indecision got almost everyone killed at the end of the play. He killed Claudius by assuming fake madness because of his indecisiveness in action, so that he will not be asked for any justification. This is an explanation of hamartia from Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Now I would like to give you one more example from Christopher Marlowe's very famous play named as Dr. Faustus. Among the hamartia examples in literature, this is one of the best, can be found in Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. The tragic flaw of Faustus was his ambitious nature. Here, the weakness we can find in the character of Dr. Faustus is his ambitious nature. Despite being a respected scholar, he sold his soul to Lucifer by signing a contract with his blood for achieving ultimate power and limitless pleasure in this world. He learns the art of black magic and defies Christianity. We see a tragic conflict where Faustus thinks about repenting, but it is all too late. Finally, the devils take his soul away to hell and he suffers eternal damnation because of his over ambition. So this is all about the term hamartia, or we can say a tragic flaw. The term ends here Thank you very much for listening me patiently.